Have you dealt with male narcissists ever? That's my question for you.
You mean as clients or
As
in my life?
not in your life, have you ever had a male narcissist client or a female who has been married to or dating a male
Yeah,
narcissist?
for sure.
What are some of the traits of the male narcissist clinically?
Well, they have a story that's not a reflection of reality.
Is it often linked back to something that happened to them in their childhood?
Probably, yeah, for sure. I mean, if you look at it clinically, the narcissistic wound typically for a male is from the mother. It's not always the case,
Okay.
but if they got neglected or didn't get a lot of love or got treated really poorly in their formative years, like 0 to 5,
Yep.
it actually changes their brain
Right.
and how their brain develops, which leads to the part of the brain that has empathy being
To close to
shrunken,
nothing.
whatever.
Yeah.
And so they just go through life with no empathy and are really able to inflict harm on others and not see that they're doing it at all or
Right.
feel any sort of remorse because they think they're just acting completely okay. So something happens in their brain where they feel like they're just kind of above the law, above the rules. Everything that applies to other people does not apply to them for whatever reason. In their mind, they
Right.
justify it.
And do they tend to get away with it?
Of course, they tend to get away
They
with it,
become
especially if they have a lot of money.
they become master manipulators too.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do they get help? Is that they have to want it?
It is extremely rare for a narcissist to get help because they can't see that they have any problem.
Right.
It is extremely hard.
That's what I thought.
It does happen. There's one guy that I follow on TikTok. He's diagnosed narcissist and he has that platform on purpose. He uses it more to educate victims of narcissistic abuse
Right.
on what actually transpires in his brain as a narcissist, and he breaks it down a lot. But he happened to be in a situation where he did love his wife and he did love his kids and he had a bit of a, I guess, like a belief in God, and that was part of what helped him want to fix his marriage. And he
Okay.
wanted to fix his marriage badly enough that he went to get therapy, got the diagnosis, learned to accept it, and learned to work with it, learned to understand how his brain works,
Right.
and started shifting his behaviors. But I would say that's a fucking exception.
Yeah. That's what I thought. And people like this often it's a lot of impulsive decisions too. I'm
Yeah.
assuming. I want what I want right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have
And if
whatever I want.
it's all about supply, we
Yeah.
call it supply. So you want to get validation and information that you're great. And
Yeah.
so if you're with a partner who's not giving you that anymore because your mask fell off and now they're seeing your true colors and they don't like it, or they are calling you out, or they are speaking up,
Right.
you don't feel good about yourself. Again, you don't want to see the truth in the mirror. So most of those men will go and have affairs all the time
Yeah.
to get new supply. Oh, this woman thinks I'm great. She's telling me I'm great. Thank you. And some of them, believe it or not, unfortunately, want supply, not necessarily positive supply, even negative supply. So pissing off their wife, like doing something to provoke her to have a big explosive reaction, gives them this sense of validation and importance too.
Right. That's what I thought.
And I have seen it show up like in couples counseling. And unfortunately, we can't do much work there at some point. We hit a wall where sometimes I'll have to look at whoever the partner is that's not narcissistic and say, it doesn't look like this person is willing to, in front of them, it doesn't look like this person is willing to see things from your perspective.
Right.
What do you want to do about it? My work here is done. I've tried everything I could.
Yeah.
They're not getting it. They're not admitting the cheating, even though you have the receipts. They're not admitting it. So now it's up to you to figure out what you want to do.
Right. And I found like even if they admit it, they don't care.
No, they don't.
They don't realize the gravity of the situation.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, happened once. Okay. Sorry.
But I will say that there's now an abuse of the term. I think everybody's a narcissist. Everybody's
An abuse or a misuse?
I just think it's an exaggerated use. It's an overuse of the term when it doesn't necessarily apply.
So like somebody who's really into themselves?
Yeah. Can be called a narcissist, or somebody who Listen, we all sometimes manipulate.
Of course.
We all do it, but we're not all narcissistic. So people will take like one trait and say, "Oh, you're gaslighting me in this specific example.
Right.
You're a narcissist."
Wow.
And it's like, okay, let's calm down with the
Not everything's a
overdiagnosis.
diagnosis.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
let's relax here.
Yeah.
We can work on these things. Like, there are little things we all do that are toxic that we can
Of course.
address. It doesn't mean we have to leave the relationship.
Yeah. And I think it all leads back to, away from narcissism, obviously, or anything that's clinical, is it all leads back to communicating with whoever it is what you need and what
Yeah.
you want. And
Yeah.
it's a tough conversation. Like, I've had to tell people, like, oh, my parents are on my ass. I said, have you ever sat down with them and said, like, and I like to lead in with, like, we call it like the shit sandwich. Lead in with the bread and then give them
Yes.
the shit. Hey, mom, dad, I really, really love you, but I need to talk to you guys about something. This thing that you've been doing, or say to your wife too, I know it's probably not intentional, but it's really been hurting my feelings, and it's been hurting my feelings for the entirety of my life. And then at least that is
A weight off your shoulders.
it's off.
Yeah.
And they could be like, I don't know what you're talking about, but you've now said it. So it's like these unspoken expectations. Like, you want them to hear what you've had to see, but you never said it. And it's so freeing to like tell something. If somebody tells me like, hey, this thing that you did is bothering me, like, my response is gonna be like, sorry, dude, I didn't really mean to do that. Even if it's a guy, like, I won't.
Yeah.
I had a situation at the gym where like somebody came to the juice bar and he was like a known like PED user, like steroid user, and he was talking to me about his diet and how it's so easy for him to get lean. And he's like, hey, can you hold my coat while I go work out? I don't have my walk. So I hung up the coat and I'm like, yeah, it's really much easier to get lean, like, using the supplements, because like I'm on testosterone replacement. I know that it's easier to stay healthy. It's one of the side effects. And he freaked out. And he was like, give me my fucking jacket back. Don't fucking talk to me like that again. And he grabs his sunglasses and his jacket and he like stormed off into the gym. So I'm like, I cooled off for like 2 minutes. So I did what I normally do, is I walk in and I was like, hey, I don't want to interrupt you. I waited for him to finish his set. I said, I don't know what I said that set you off earlier, but if I hurt your feelings, I really apologize. And this is to like a grown ass 30-something-year-old man. Like, it was not my intention whatsoever. We've had these discussions many times before. And if I hurt your feelings, I'm sorry. And he went on, well, you fucking know, everybody's. So this is, now I know I'm dealing with somebody who's on the right mind.
Yeah.
So I just looked at him. I said, now you're pushing your fucking luck. And said, I came up to you like a man to apologize. I didn't have to apologize to you because, quite frankly, I don't think I said anything wrong. I said, but don't push your fucking luck.
Yeah.
Okay? Enjoy your day. Enjoy your life. But if I wouldn't have done that, I would have been pissed off for 2 or 3 days afterwards.
Well, what you're describing is that you knew he reacted in a way that was not necessarily appropriate, but you still wanted to own up to your side of things if you hurt his feelings. But then when he wasn't validating that he did anything wrong, you were okay with it because you knew. Yeah. You knew that he did something wrong. And I think that's a very important nuance, because if somebody's like, let's say, dealing with a narcissist person, which I don't know if this person is or not, but if you're dealing with a narcissistic person and you're going up to them and saying, let's say, like with the example with the parents, like, you did this and it hurt me my whole life and all this. And then the person doesn't give you the validation and say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You're right. I did do that. They don't do that. They're like, what are you talking about? I was a great parent, let's say. Okay. But if you deep down can give yourself the validation, knowing that it doesn't matter if they're acknowledging it or not. It's true. Yeah. It's a fact.
It affected me that way. So
exactly. Yeah. And I lived it that way. I don't need you to confirm that. Right. I know that it's true and I'm good.
Yeah. I just needed to get it out.
Exactly. And I think that's the where the power lies, because I think people give up their power too much. They want the other person to acknowledge the harm that was done. Yeah. And until that happens, they're in victim mindset.
And another thing that I've been like learning too is people who can't sleep. I always tell them, like, I did this day of physical labor the other week. Yeah. Where I like worked in my backyard. I sanded my deck. I stayed in my deck. I was outside for like 12 hours. Wow. There is nobody in the world who is going to go put in a day where you like do this thing, you accomplish something, even if it's whatever, that it's not a huge like earth-shattering accomplishment, but you've done all this physical work and like, this is what I have to show for it afterwards. Yes. I was dead. There was a million things going through my mind. The second my head hit that pillow, gone. I really find that there's something to, that's what taking it back to the physical exertion, to exerting yourself shuts the brain down a little bit, even if it's only for an hour. Sort of
Yes.
like my wife does the hot yoga classes. It, it quiets her brain. To go in, she has to think, okay, do this pattern. So it's like human chess.
I mean, it's essentially part of what we do, like as grounding techniques is therapy. Sometimes is like we'll redirect the client to breath work, or
Yep.
we'll redirect them to touching textures or being physically
Smelling,
present
yeah.
in their body. I mean,
Yep.
when you're working out, that's what you're doing. You're in your body.
If you're going to a kickboxing class and he's telling you to hit, a hook, cross, jab,
Right.
duck,
I'm not.
your
I don't
brain's
have
not
time to
going like,
think
man,
about.
I wish that person didn't say that thing about me yesterday. You're like, I don't want to get punched.
Exactly.
So that's in taking it back. Like, I think that for the average person who's just dealing with regular day-to-day shit, which could be a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of stress, somebody passed away. I think using that physical, just to allow your brain the hour or 2 hours, whatever it is, of just like calm down.
Absolutely. And you know what? The thing is that I love that your kids, you're instilling this in them and they're doing a lot of physical activity. You did too. You said as a kid, you were pretty much a jock. I didn't grow up with that. Right. And I wish I had, because I think that when you have that since you're little as an outlet, as an understanding that, you could be a master of your body and deal with a lot of things just through physical activity. Yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe my life, not maybe, definitely my life would have had a different trajectory if I had that amazing tool in my toolbox.
Yeah. And it's a mental health tool that kids don't get. I think they're starting to a little bit more now. And I think there's other things too, which, I mean, it's a bit of a weird one to touch on, but financial literacy for kids. Like, thank God my father helped me. He taught me when I was young how to save money. I had money to buy a condo when I was in my 20s. Like,
lucky you.
But he used to bring me to work
with
him.
It's the Ashkenaz love.
Yeah.
The Sephardics, we don't know anything about this.
What are you talking about? He used to bring me to work. I was like 11. I would go, we had a scrapyard. He would like let me pick up stuff that the magnet didn't pick up, which meant it was a little bit more valuable. I would weigh it out. And if I brought in like $300, he would give me $300, but he would give me like $30. Yeah. And the other money would go away. And anything that I made was shunted and invested. Love it. He's always taught me, like, you always need to have money away. And that's such a problem for so many people mentally, which leads back to the social media. It's like everyone's trying to keep up with and they will torch their lives as a consequence of that, to have the car that they want. And it's a funny, I just did an experiment. I got a new to me car. I just got a used 2018 Audi Q5. Oh, cool. The amount of people that have come up to me and have been like, must be killing it with that Q5. Yeah. It's got 160,000 kilometers on it.
It's the perception.
But it's the perception. I didn't get a Q5 to get a Q5. I figured I'd rather buy a car and not have bills. And if it can be a nicer car, then start taking these payments. But everyone like sees it. Like, you don't see me posting stuff like that because I'm not that type of person. Right. But everyone like looks at you like, oh, protein bar business must be really killing it, huh? Like, that's prime example of like shiny thing. That's where everybody's eyes go. So it's like teaching people how to be like, take these stressors away, give yourself tools. You don't have to be chasing money. You have money. Like, and from a young age, start to put the money away. Start to learn how, like, oh, if I'm anxious, maybe I'll go for a run. Maybe I'll go lift something heavy. Maybe I'll call a friend and have a discussion with him. Like, I'm like the male friend check-in guy. Like, and it's still weird. I'll like, hey, how's it going? They're like, what are you talking about? Never mind. It's the men's mental health space is a really weird.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, like you said, like you're in the fitness industry world. Yeah. Where I think the armor that we're talking about is even stronger. Yeah. The hyper masculinity,
if you ever just go to the gym and look around at the guys, 90% of them are not there for any reason other than they're dealing with something. You can see it.
I see it.
You can see them with the heads down. You can see this type of thing.
I see a lot of insecurity and a lot of stuff.
Big deep breaths before the set. You can see a lot of like very like aggressive. That's our therapy, but it's not the answer always. It's a piece of the puzzle. It's a piece of the puzzle. The amount of guys that would come up to me at that juice bar, like opening up to me because they know I'm like that guy.
Yeah, soft place to land on at the gym, basically.
Even when I go now for the kickboxing, like I go with a couple of the kids, like their kids and moms, and they sit there, they're like, how the fuck do you do this? Every 2 seconds, like somebody's coming up to you, they're saying hello, they're giving you a hug, they're telling you their life story. And I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't bug me. But like we're a mess. We're as a gender, if I'm allowed to say that these days, we're a mess. We're a really, really big mess. And I don't think anybody knows how to get out of it because they're so afraid to be judged by other people who are a mess.
For sure. So, I mean, I hear that you feel a sense of duty, responsibility to be that man that can help those men.
Yeah.
What can women do to help?
To help men?
Yeah.
It's our job to open up to you guys, and you just need to listen. A lot of the times, I think we just want to be heard. You know, like when guys say stuff like, I'm tired, I'm not tired. My brain's tired. But we don't know how to say, like, I'm feeling sad. So we'll say something like, I'm tired. And when I'm dealing with men in relationship issues, like, what do you see? This is the main emotion that comes out in men. They're angry all the time.
Yeah, anger. Yeah.
They're not angry. They're scared, they're sad, they're worried, but
it's the secondary emotion, we call it. It's easier to access.
It's easier to be angry. So it's that, like, finding the way to utilize the emotion to, how do we get the other person to hear us? I feel like as a gender, we're not often heard. Till somebody will come out and like really break down, that's when somebody notices that there's a problem.
Well, how could you be heard when from a young age you're being told, wipe your tears, buck up, get up, men don't cry, don't do this, don't do that. And then the girls, it's like, oh, okay, come here, you can cry to daddy or whatever. Like,
yeah,
being a parent to a boy versus to a girl is you're being told from a young age, like your feelings are not welcome.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear your feelings. You need to be a dude. You need to wipe your tears and just. So I think we have to equip our young boys differently.
Well, that's what I'm also trying to do. Like, I'm trying with our kids to let them know that, like, you're allowed to be sad. And if you really wanted something and it didn't go your way, you're allowed to feel however it is that you felt about it. And it was a really interesting experience to watch my son in the kickboxing tournament because, like, he was not nervous. He was not anxious. And me at that age, I did a jiu-jitsu tournament a few years back. I was shitting myself. And to watch how he dealt with everything, and I don't know if it's as a piece to the parenting that we have done with him, but he was like,
I'm sure.
He was stoic in victory. He was stoic in defeat. He lost in the finals. He got beat up pretty badly. Like, his arm was all bruised up. His lip was busted open. And he was just like, okay, I lost. And I'm like, wow. So we asked him how he was. He's like, I just want 2 Tylenols and I want to watch something on my iPad. I was like, okay. But yeah, we have to equip the next generation with the right tools. I don't know if therapy for kids is the best move. I'm not unless there's really a problem.
I don't know. I don't work with kids. I don't know how to work with kids therapeutically. They work through play. That's how kids.
I train kids.
Okay.
I find it interesting. I have a few kids who are coming to me, one in particular for weight loss issues, which are clearly linked to something else. I'm trying to like pull out what that causes.
Yeah.
And one to get her anger out. And you know, do 40 jumping jacks. Now do 10 squats. Now go do this and then move this. And all of a sudden at the end they're sweating. That Pat, I'm good enough. Like, it's I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say our generation's a lost cause, but I see like the quote is, I think like most men are walking around living lives of quiet desperation in a fancy car and a fancy suit.
Yeah.
It's sad.
It's really sad.
It's sad. And that's one of the biggest things that I took away from the start over at the point in my life that it happened was like, I learned to be content with nothing. You learn that like I had all the things. I had the Range Rover. I had the BMWs. I had you learn to just appreciate small stuff. It's not to say don't work hard and don't go on vacations. Like all that stuff's amazing. But like if you can't appreciate that like early morning cup of coffee quietly, just sitting there by yourself.
Absolutely.
You start to when things get taken from you, you learn to appreciate what you have more.
Exactly.
Which
I agree.
Like, led to me like doing my own work at home. But it's like I'm sitting here going like, you feel so fucking accomplished afterwards. Like I could have never done this. Like I don't know what I'm doing, but go try. Like so that's like I really got that out of the late in life actually the two rock bottoms. I would say the job loss was probably as painful. I don't remember much of the other one. I don't
Okay.
remember much of that whole year with the food. A lot of it's a blur. But you learn so much if you just are willing to take it in when it happens, because it's going to happen to everybody. It's just different things affect different people in different ways. And
For sure.
yeah, like I'm grateful for the lessons that I've learned, and I'm really grateful that I can hopefully continue to help other people strengthen themselves and free themselves from whatever it is that's holding them back.
I just wanted to add one point about the kids. I,
Yeah.
I think that oftentimes the kids don't need therapy. It's the parents who need therapy. The kid is a manifestation of what's coming at them most of the time, not just the parents, because obviously there's school
Right.
and friends and social dynamics. But generally speaking, if a kid is unwell, I want to talk to the parents.
Yeah.
What's going on? Your kid is holding whatever's going on between the two of you.
Yeah. Or with one of you or whatever.
Or whatever. So yeah.
Yeah, it's such an interesting time period because it's so formative. And the one thing that I remember hearing everybody during COVID, because now I've become this like sponge for anything that's emotional, was kids are resilient. And I think that's the biggest crock of shit. Because if we were so resilient, then why are we all so fucked up? None of us are resilient. We were just brushed to the side. He'll be fine. Don't worry about it. He'll be
We're
fine.
resilient as kids because we have no
We
choice.
have no choice. We're trying to survive.
We're vulnerable and we're at the mercy of grown-ups around us.
Right. We can't make decisions. We don't have our own money. We're stuck. So yeah, we're very resilient. It's yes.
I've never thought of it that way.
I don't know what the right answer is, but if we don't fix this, we're gonna have a huge problem going forward. Like we already have a huge problem. Like, I mean, I know you saw the thing with the hockey player that passed away. Like,
no, what happened? I have no idea.
So in game 5, was it game 5? I think. What was it? It was like he carried. Did you watch the hockey games at all?
No.
What kind of fucking Montrealer are you?
I support them from afar.
So what they did was they would bring some of the older players out to like.
That guy, the older guy who, Lemieux or something.
Yeah, so he killed himself 2 days later.
But he killed himself? I didn't know that.
Yeah, but if you would look at the guy, I mean, this was a guy who played the exact same way I used to play, like a fucking dog.
Mm-hmm.
Run the goalie over, will fight anybody, protect all your teammates. That type of person. They're donating his brain to science now to see if he had CTE. But if you looked at that guy,
CTE, traumatic,
cerebral traumatic like brain injury. I don't remember what it is. Like you can see it on brain scans, which he for sure has because he got hit in the head a zillion fucking times. But like the guy looked like it was the happiest moment of his life. He was a player agent. He had like NHL players under contracts. He owned a furniture store, like all these things. And his son found him in the furniture store. And it's just like his old teammates were there. They were like, we had no clue. No, because no one talks. Like no one talks. And like my friend's getting divorced. Like I'm at his house. Like I was at his house. Like if I find like a friend of mine is using too much alcohol, I will not be able to live with myself if I don't say something. If I go and say something and say like, hey dude, I'm worried about you. Are you okay? And you go, yeah, I'm fine. Okay. I've said my piece. I'll try to prod a little bit more, but
men have to choose to break that armor and open up.
Yeah. And that's why I continue to try to do these like online, during COVID, I did a bunch of online things where I kind of just told my story. I'll go to high schools and talk. I'll teach kids that bullying leads to self-bullying, which is a hell of a lot worse than bullying. Like you can call me whatever you want, but then if I start to call myself that, we have a really big problem because then I really can't escape it. But again, like we need a bigger network of, I want to say like alpha looking type of guys. I really find something about that, not nerdy looking, like little, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I get it. Have you ever watched this TED Talk called The Man Box?
No.
Big black guy who talks about breaking the man box that he calls it, where men are trapped. I'll send it to you. It's very interesting TED Talk.
I love all that stuff. So it's very sad.
Well, I think it's starting to shift. I'm seeing more and more and more men in therapy, and I've been practicing for 12 years. I'm seeing a huge shift in the last 2, 3, 4 years. All of a sudden, even just from the referrals I'm getting from employee assistance programs, I think that's amazing. Companies are now giving their employees access to free, 5, 6, 7, 8 sessions.
Fantastic.
And the men are calling. They're calling. And it starts with, I'm coming in because I'm burnt out or I'm stressed at work.
Yeah.
But then I try to make them comfortable, and then other things start to come out. And so it's very hopeful.
Hopeful. Speaking of burnout, did you just come out of one?
I did.
You want to talk about that?
Sure.
Things, I don't know what the fuck it is, but things don't bother me. It's so fucking weird. I don't know if it's because of how much I feel like I've been through, but like I always pivot. That's what I want.
Well,
I'd
so
love
you
to
are
hear the burnout
resilient.
story.
So you are
I'm
resilient.
definitely resilient. I'm not saying that I'm not, but like I'd love to hear what goes on behind the scenes of a burnout. Like I've never had that discussion with anybody. I've never seen it. I've heard people go on burnout from work and then they come back and they get fired because they don't want people who burn out at their jobs. They remove. But like, what is a burnout? This could be 2 or 3 episodes you can make here. Yeah.
A burnout. Okay, so a burnout is an emotional state where essentially it's an emotional and physical state.
Right.
Where essentially your nervous system is shot. It's not firing properly anymore. The reasons why could be a million different things. But what's happening is that your nervous system was sending you signals. Maybe you were, I don't know, like physical signals, headaches, sleeplessness, stomach aches.
Yeah.
Or maybe a little bit of like panic or anxiety.
Mental fatigue portraying itself as physical.
But compounded over time. That's what burnout is. It's like this thing getting worse and compounding over time. And then on the surface, your life could be totally fine. You're going to the work, your family, there's no drama, there's no issues, everything's fine. But the nervous system buildup has been creeping up. And out of the blue,
boom,
you're just exhausted, physically exhausted.
Unable to function.
You're doing medical tests, everything's clear. You're sleeping 8-9 hours a night, you're still exhausted. You're taking a vacation for a week, you're still exhausted. Nothing is fixing the exhaustion anymore. And it's terrifying to a lot of people who have never had it before, who come and end up on my chair. And even for me, like, what the hell is going on? Why am I tired all the time?
And do you know what triggered it?
For me?
Yeah.
It was a combination of pushing really hard for many years as a single mom.
Okay.
Going through court with my ex and having a very high level of stress for a very long duration of time. Every single time I had to go to court.
Okay.
Deal with the lawyer, financially figure out how to take care of me and my son on my own because there was no financial support. Raising a baby by myself with no help.
Yeah.
So I was getting through it. I was doing great. Everybody, wow, you're doing amazing.
Did you ever take a minute to give yourself the grace and realize all the stuff that you were doing, or you were just so deep in it that you didn't even realize?
I didn't realize because I was fine.
Right.
I was fine. I was like, plus when you're on a mission and you have a kid, you're like, well, too bad. I got to get this shit done. So your drive is like blindsiding you. You're not realizing it. So I just kept going and going and going and going. And then when I really realized it was after about 3.5 years of doing this and seeing a ton of clients, because I got this office, I moved here a year ago. Before that, I had a job. It was different, but trying to build your practice. But that was my outlet for a long time. I loved it. I loved coming to work. I loved listening to my clients. There was nothing better I could possibly do with my spare time until it changed. That's how I knew I was burnt out. When I started to feel like this is too much, draining coming to work, I could barely get through the day. I would leave, have nothing left in the tank for me to take care of my son. I'd come home completely wiped and depleted, start snapping at him. Poor kid didn't do anything.
How do you deal with that?
How do I deal with what?
When you snap at your kid, how do you go about? Is it an apology afterwards?
Of course.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I see a lot of that with people that I work with, and a lot of the times, the parent they don't have that ability to go and say, hey, mom or dad was really fucked up earlier. Not in those words, obviously, but you didn't deserve to be spoken to like
exactly.
that. Exactly.
No, of course. My job is to model to him what's the appropriate way to behave, first of all. So if you do something wrong, you need to apologize.
Yes.
My job is also to model to him that we all make mistakes.
Yes.
It's okay. It doesn't make us a bad person. We have bad behaviors, but it doesn't make us a bad person. I
Right.
always tell him that what you did was bad, but you're not bad. And I love you no
That's
matter
such a
what.
great way to put it. Yeah. You're
And
not
so-
your behaviors.
Anyway,
Okay.
so I apologize and I try to make it a teaching moment. And I
Good.
just say, yeah, like, and then I'll say, for example, you know, mama's really stressed out. So I need to take a deep breath. I need to.
Adult timeout.
Yeah, no, but sometimes I'll do it with him. Do you want to help me? And I call it blowing out the candles.
That's awesome. Yeah, I like that.
And I take deep breaths and we do it together and we make it playful because I'm using it as an opportunity to calm down, but also I have someone watching me. So let me teach him how to calm down
For
too
sure.
when he's getting agitated. So, but it never feels good to snap at your kid when they
course
did
not.
nothing wrong. So that's when you start to ask yourself questions like, what is going on here?
Right. So you burnt out.
I burnt out. And you know what? It was really hard for me to call it that because I had had depression. I had had anxiety. I had had all these like
Right.
big, intense mental health struggles.
Yeah.
This was a new one. That I was like,
Entering the game, burnout.
entering the game, burnout, milder form of something that you can actually fix
Right.
with taking certain steps. But I had to slow down. So I slowed down. I'm seeing much less clients now for the summer. I made a conscious decision to take care of it because I know what's on the other side if I don't. People
Right.
end up hospitalized.
For sure.
People end up collapsing. I mean, it's kind of similar to your story with your kidney failure and all of that.
Right.
The point is that was maybe like almost like a physical burnout
Yeah.
from.
That's what happened with the weight thing too.
Exactly.
So we had a frat weekend and we were running the initiation weekend, and it was like another type of situation that triggered the whole thing. It was fancy AC. I left the room that we were in where again, it was a torture situation. Like we would just keep these kids sitting down blindfolded, and it was like,
what?
We're gonna be able to go do the activity when you guys are able to do whatever it is that we're asking you to do properly. It was like literally like counting in our beats in a song. With the end result of it being like, you're never getting out of here, and then in a day we'll end this thing. So it was like wild. And I remember leaving it as like I had already done it myself the year prior, and I was running it, and I like started to feel like the room closing in on me, and I walked outside to try to get air. It was like November, it was cold, and the next thing I realized, I was like looking up at the stars, and I was like, I thought I was dead.
Oh my God.
And that was like the aha moment for like the no more nothing.
Yeah.
No more smoking, no more drinking. I mean, I started to drink again afterwards in my 20s, but like that was my shut up moment. I'm going home, I'm losing all the weight. I grabbed my keys and I just left. I didn't even tell anyone I was leaving. I took my car and it just disappeared.
Okay.
It might have been a burnout.
It might have been a burnout. It might have been your nervous system shutting down. And it does that for us to survive.
Yep.
Like, it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's your body knows what it's doing. It's saying, I need to preserve you. So I'm going to start shutting down some of your
systems. It's like a bear going into hibernation.
Because you're not listening to me when I'm sending you the other signal. So now I'm going to intensify it and force you to listen to me. And sometimes that's what depression is too. It's like there's something going on that you're not addressing, and I'm going to force you to shut down. Ideally, like sometimes, a lot of times with depression, it's like you have anger or frustrations with a lot of people, but you're not expressing them. So they're being stuck inside and they're turning inwards. So there's a signal. Something is saying you're doing something in a way in your life that's not working for you.
Yeah.
You need to shift it. Or you're in a job or in a situation that is not serving you. You need to leave that situation. So our body is giving us that information in very radical ways sometimes.
Very interesting.
Yeah. And what else can I say? Like, burnout has multiple stages. So it depends where you catch it.
I've done a bit of research. There's like 9 stages of it or something like that.
Yeah, depending on which study. Some say 9, some say 5. But depending on where you are, you can recover pretty quickly if you catch it early on. But some people I catch really, like, they really waited too long. They were hanging by a thread and they just would keep going, keep going, keep going. Most of the time because they don't have a choice. Like, you have to have the privilege to say, okay, I'm going to cut back on my clients, or I'm going to take a break from work or whatever. Some people don't have that privilege.
Right.
They live in poverty, and if they don't work,
they're not going to eat. Exactly. Yeah. Privilege is an interesting thing too. I find like a lot of people don't realize it, and not to say like in this like postmodern, like, oh my God, you're so privileged. Like the privilege of time this is a privilege.
It's absolutely a
The ability
privilege.
for me to make my own schedule and
Yeah,
come here and have a conversation like this
for
is
sure.
a privilege. Like being able to pick my children up and not have to keep them until 6 o'clock because I have to rush after a day's work because God forbid I should leave 15 minutes early. Like these are the people don't think. Like that's where the gratitude comes in, and I find it super helpful for me. Like this is all these things are such a privilege. It's such a privilege to be able to have a house. Like all that nonsense that I used to laugh at. I'm sitting
The
here going, it's not
journaling,
that crazy. Like, like waking up in the morning and going like, I have a roof over my head. There's food in the fridge. No
absolutely.
one's sick. It's going to be a good day.
It's
Like,
yeah, and it's all perspective. Like, yeah, like for me, I'm just happy to have stability after all those years I just told you about where I was
Yeah.
hopping around. I've never lived in the same house other than my childhood home for like I think over 1 year was my record. And that was like an accomplishment. That's insane.
Yeah.
Now I'm like been in the same place for
Stable.
almost 5 years, and I'm like, this is something I'm grateful for. To somebody else, that's ridiculous. It's so trivial. But for me, it's like, wow, I actually feel stable and I have a stable house and a stable mind.
What set me off a little bit is the other day, my neighbor came up to me while I was outside. I was waiting in between clients, and she looked at me and she's like, do you ever like stop and like look at what you've built here and say like how great this is? And I was like, honestly, I'm like, I have a really tough time giving myself any praise. And then I was like, why? Because for me, like I still have this little startup protein bar company. It's doing okay. It's making money, which is a feat on its own. So I'm trying to now coach myself the way that I would coach other people, because that's like, it's a level where I can't seem to give myself the grace to realize like A, things take time, and B, like you built this from literally nothing with no money. I mean, it's doing 6 figures in revenue. Like, but so I'm having to coach myself to say, hey, let's try to pull yourself out of this situation.
Yeah.
Go stand next to her and watch this guy who's like starting work at 4 o'clock in the morning if he has to, training people, in between that, running, packing boxes, shipping boxes, going to see clients, coming home, making sure he's home for his kids, working at nights, but still making sure he's home to put his kids into bed every single night. Like staying up even if I'm falling asleep on the couch just so I can be in the same room as my wife. And I'm starting to do all of these things and go like, okay, like this is something that like you can be really proud of.
Yes. And I will say something you're not going to like.
Say it.
You are burnoutable.
Of course I am.
You need to be careful.
Yeah. So what would be a symptom that I would look for?
Like I said earlier, if you start to feel like no matter what you do, you're tired.
Okay.
Thank God that's not the case for you right
energy.
now.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, with everything you're describing to me,
right,
thinking we're not burnoutable is going to put us at risk of burnout, actually. It's right. The very thing.
Is loving what you do make it a little bit easier?
Absolutely.
Okay, so maybe that's why, because I love everything that I do.
Yeah, you're in a healthy relationship. You're a great dad. You love what you do. You, like you said, you created a life for yourself where you have freedoms.
Yeah.
You've done a lot of mental health work on yourself. So you're in good shape.
And now I need to just learn how to take compliments and process them.
Sometimes we feel like also we get the message that in order to be lovable, we have to be super productive. We can't rest. If we rest, it means we're lazy.
That's
it means
something I'm really working on right now. I like to be productive. So like I'm trying to allow myself now, like even during the day, 30 minutes, just go sit outside, go in the sun, go walk, just put on something and try to not feel guilty about it. Like everyone's entitled to rest.
Absolutely.
And it's been making me more productive.
That's the thing I always tell people. Yes.
I'm allowing myself that break. There's a reason people take breaks at work.
Yeah. And same thing with working out, right? Yeah. If you take a rest day and you let your muscles do their thing,
they're probably going to be better off.
Exactly.
Which is why the trackers are so important for me, because this thing tells you, like I'll get on the app. It's like, hey buddy, you really pushed it today. Take it easy.
What
tomorrow.
Trackers?
It's a Whoop tracker that I use.
What is that?
It's similar to the Apple Watch, but it's like more detailed.
Okay.
But it will tell me your strain for the day should have been X. You went way over it. Like tomorrow, let's just do a walk.
Okay.
Let's not go doing deadlifts tomorrow.
Okay, so you need a tracker for your productivity.
I try to listen to that. Yeah.
You need another tracker saying.
Exactly. I always like the discussions. But I usually have them with people that are like, don't get it. More that I'm trying to teach too. I mean, like, whereas you have a lot more experience than I do. So it's always interesting to get an educated perspective as opposed to me trying to like use my experience to educate other people. Yeah.
Well, maybe that's something to be aware of. Maybe you need to step back from being the helper all the time and just take a step back and I don't know, get to know other people who could also give you tidbits.
Tips, yeah, and vice versa. I feel like I love to learn off and help other people learn from all these discussions.
Well, I'm learning too. Like, I don't think I have more
No,
experience
we're
than
not
you.
like, but like
Yeah,
I
so
like,
what? I got a degree, so.
yeah, but you speak to a lot more people like this, so you see a lot more
Right.
than me, which I find. That's why I'm asking questions about stuff like narcissists and like I like to learn. I didn't even
Mm-hmm.
touch on the addiction thing, but that can be something for another time.
Oh,
But I just love learning about the way the brain works. Yeah, because I really truly think behind it all, it's the same patterns just manifesting in different. Something's missing and they can't figure out what it is, so let's fill that void with something else. And often it's not good. Some people go bad, some people go okay.
yeah. There's so many variables, and I think twin studies are really interesting because you have identical twins who grew up in the exact same environment, biologically the same,
Yep.
and have completely different perceptions of their childhood,
Yep.
completely different personalities. And I find that those studies can give us so much insight because at the end of the day, that's why you have to get to know yourself as an individual. That's why you also shouldn't compare yourself to others. Because if even identical twins have completely different experiences, then imagine what people from different walks of life have.
I'm gonna send you a quote thing after that I saw. It's a video. I don't know. I always watch that Modern Wisdom podcast. I don't know if you've seen like it's the British guy, the handsome British dude.
Okay.
So he had this like rancher on, this like old big beard, like, and he asked him, he's like, how do you give yourself grace in a world where everybody's like so hard on themselves? Like looked at him, he's like, I like me.
Mm-hmm.
It was like so like I was like, I've never heard anybody say that before. He's like, I'd buy myself a drink.
Mm-hmm.
Like, fuck, that was so cool. Like
I love that.
yeah, like I was like, I'd buy myself a protein shake.
I've been tapping into that a lot lately, actually, since my burnout, taking myself out on dates.
Yeah.
I took myself to a concert. I went by myself.
Nice.
I've never done anything like that before.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think sometimes it's that simple. It's just saying, I deserve to do this thing.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to take a chance that somebody else's energy could taint this experience. So I'm going to take this for myself and gift it to myself. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's an interesting way to look at it. I think a lot of us are very overcritical. And by a lot of us, I mean me.
I mean, I was too. And I still am to a certain extent. But I think with everything I've been through, I've just learned to be like, listen, dude, you overcame a lot.
Battle fucking tested.
Yeah, you're good. Like, you don't need to fight for feeling deserving of things or worthy of things. Like, you just are, you know? And yeah, I think we all intrinsically are lovable and valuable. And we just get weird messages sometimes that we
aren't
take to heart, but they're not ours. And we have to like return to sender is what I tell my clients. Like, this isn't mine. I'm going to give this back.
You can put your shit on me as much as you want.
To this parent or to this person who bullied me or whatever. It's not my shit.
Yeah. It's your responsibility to deal with it now, though.
Exactly.
Get rid of it. Let it go.
Exactly.
And that's where people go astray in life. They can't take that risk. Like, no, but he said, I don't care what he said. I care what they did. Like, it's interesting. Once that like switch is flipped, like, okay, say what you want. Do what you want.
Yeah, like this is the situation.
Yeah, it happens.
This is the reality. This is the circumstance. Now, what do you want to do about it?
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
and a lot of people just get stuck there.
If you're not living with your fight or flight going like, there's a bear after me. Like, there's no bear after you, but you're like always looking around like this. I was like, if you can realize that you're safe now, your life is going to change completely. This is how normal people feel. You go to work, you come home, you have dinner, you watch TV together as a couple, you go to bed, and you wake up the next morning and repeat it. Like, this is life. No one's trying to hurt you anymore.
But it feels unsafe.
Of course, because she knows.
And also the brain of trauma gets wired in a certain way that...
Yeah. There's a bear chasing me. All the time.
Yeah.
And it's going to come again. Like,
so. I was watching a thing the other day where they were saying that trauma actually changes your brain to become neurodivergent. The same way like you could be neurodivergent born with ADHD or autism or whatever.
Right.
Trauma can make your brain become neurodivergent and change it permanently.
I believe it.
there's still neuroplasticity and you could still rewire your brain no matter what. I think that sometimes like we have to reiterate that because I don't like this concept that people now again overuse the word trauma.
Right. Now you're permanently damaged.
You're permanently damaged and it's a justification and an explanation for your shitty behavior now.
Exactly.
No. Yeah. You don't get to get away with that. You take ownership of your trauma, you figure it out, you work through it, and you treat the people you care about kindly.
Yep. I like that.
Same with addiction.
Yep.
Or whatever. Bipolar disorder.
Right.
You don't get to blame, you know, your condition for why you're irritable or you snap at people or whatever.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. How do we wrap this up?
I think we just did. Take care of your shit.
Take care of your shit.
Yeah.
Stop dumping it on other people.
And that's it. And help other people. Just be nice.
Just be nice.
That's been my biggest, I'll end on that. My biggest saving grace over my life.
Yeah.
Every time I've helped somebody else, I help myself, even if I'm not trying to. It feels so good when somebody comes up to me and they'll be like, you changed my life. I mean, I'm still struggling on taking that compliment because I don't feel like I ever really did anything. I kind of just like used my experience, but it feels great.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So like, I just think more people that open up, you're going to involuntarily help other people. Just to get a message from somebody like, hey, you know, like you've been coaching me. I haven't been coaching this person, but he's like been following me. You've been quietly coaching me for the past 5 years. I quit alcohol 2.5 years ago. I started running. I've lost 40 pounds. And I'm sitting here going like, that's awesome. That's fucking, like, what more do you need? Like, this is what helps make me feel good. And so people follow.
Absolutely. And you know what? That's why I wanted to start this podcast. Because I want to be able to share my story. I don't know if I'm there yet.
Right.
But I want to be able to say, hey.
Well, you kind of did.
No, I want to be able to put it out there. That's what I'm saying. I want to get to a point where I could be like, I'm a therapist.
Let me take my armor off.
Yeah. Let me take my armor off. I'm a therapist and I have bipolar disorder.
Yeah.
Because when I got the diagnosis, you think I was okay?
Hell no.
I was like, I'm fucked. I thought I imagined myself homeless.
Yeah.
With mental issues for the rest of my life.
Right.
I was like, my life is done for. So to be here today and be like, no, it's not. I really believed it. Like,
it's thriving.
I really believed that I'm fucked.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot have a successful life if you have this diagnosis. So having that and being a therapist, I want to be able to help other people who have bipolar disorder understand that they're going to be just fine. I'd have to stop being a therapist. I can't put that out there. Well, how can I explain it? So that's why I've made my social media pages they're anonymous, I'll say.
Yeah.
Like it does.
Such a Jewish term, anonymous.
Is it?
It is now.
Anonymous. Like I'm still Kim and I talk about certain things and you see my face.
Yeah.
But it's not my first and last name. It's not attached to my practice. It's not attached to this location. Because I don't want my clients to stumble on it, actually.
Right.
Because I'm trying to have a separate identity.
You gotta be selective.
As a person who's going to be more and more open. Same thing with my podcast. I'm not going to put my full name on it because I, for now, don't want to be found by my clients. Because if my client listens to this conversation we had and has this whole background about my personal shit, that's not going to serve them in a clinical way. It's not. At the end of the day, no matter which way you slice it, people have a big stigma and how they perceive people with bipolar disorder. Understandably so. There are a lot of fucked up people who have bipolar disorder and don't take their meds and wreak havoc on society. I do think that we can waste a lot of energy trying to help people who don't want to be helped.
Yeah. So.
And then, we have to stop doing that. I'm trying to have a separate, persona, which is why I wanted to start the podcast, because I have a story to tell and I want to tell it. And I'm starting to feel like I'm suffocating as a therapist, not being able to tell my story.
Right.
I'm like, this isn't working for me anymore.
Are there legal implications if you tell it?
They're not legal. They're ethical.
Will it impact on your ability to practice?
It could, yeah.
Right. So you got to be careful. Yeah. So this was great.
It was great. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
I really appreciate your openness, and I hope
you
sharing your story.
I would love to. And we can do this again anytime you want.
Sounds good.
Amazing.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.